and welcome back to another episode of Bear Track Outfitters podcast. Today I'm just gonna. There's been some changes with non-resident waterfowl hunting here in Manitoba, so I figured I would talk about it, address that. What does that mean? What does that look like? I've had a few hunters already email me asking how this affects, if it affects me, what exactly does it all mean? And so I figured I would just go over a few things. I will show you what they're proposing, what people are saying that are against it, and from an outfitter's perspective, what this means and what this looks like. Excuse me, and what happens going forward. So basically, Manitoba Wildlife Federation, I think they partnered with Manitoba Lodges and Outfitters Association in a proposal that, sorry, I just got my notes here because this I want to make sure I get the details accurate. They're proposing that starting April 1st of this year, 2023, foreign resident hunters and non-resident hunters will, if they want to hunt waterfowl in Manitoba, they have two options. One, they put in for a draw. You pay $100 resource fee, $175 for the tag, and then I think it's $11.50 or $11.90 or something like that, $11.90, something like that, to apply for the draw. And they're only giving out 2,900 tags. That's it. That's one way. So you put in for the draw. You may or may not get it. And if you do get it, there's another change to this. So let's say you do get drawn. You come up on waterfowl. You can only stay for 7 days. That's it. And then you gotta go. So that's option A. Option B is you book with a Manitoba licensed waterfowl outfitter. So in the spirit of honesty, some people have been vehemently opposed to this. They think it's going to kill the tourism industry for waterfowl in Manitoba. I'm not one of those. I don't believe that. I personally have been advocating for something like this for years now, as someone who doesn't just do bear or whitetail, who guides waterfowl as well. I cut my teeth guiding waterfowl years and years and years ago, so I'm very familiar with how that all works and how that all operates and what happens if things aren't kept in check. And I'll speak more on that in a bit. But so just looking at my notes here, because again I want to get the details accurate. So the Manitoba Wildlife Federation and the Manitoba Lodges and Outfitters Association, they report that there's about 60 active waterfowl outfitters in Manitoba. And they facilitate about 12 to 1,300 hunters a year. The vast majority of which are American. Now, granted, this is strictly waterfowl. This isn't anything else. We're talking strictly waterfowl. So, there's 60 outfitters, 12 to 1,300 hunters a year. The vast majority are American. If I had to guess, I would say for sure 80, 85, maybe even a little bit higher would be American. That's just, if I look at my experience and kind of project that out, that's what I would say. And so in 2020, they did a study that Manitoba generated $212 million in hunting related revenue. 165 million, so about 78%, was resident hunters. So the argument against this proposal is that it'll discourage U.S. hunters coming to Manitoba to hunt. Because the point of this proposal and why the Manitoba government is doing it is twofold. One, they believe, and I agree, that it will increase the number of resident hunters. Okay? I agree. I think it will. And I'll tell you why in a bit. Two, they want to prop up the tourism related aspect, the outfitters. Now your average guy will say, "Wow, there you go. You're pushing business. It's all about business, and you're supporting the big guy, not the little guy." Well, first of all, I don't think that's true. I think what they're doing is they're recognizing that tourism is a massive industry in Manitoba, and so when you support those that facilitate that, I'm having a hard time seeing where you go wrong with that, because me guiding American waterfowl hunters, I'm not hindering the local from going out and hunting. So here's why I've been advocating for it. I may seem like I'm jumping around here a bit, and that may be so, but so here's why I am very, very happy that they're doing this. So to tell you a story, maybe that'll help. I have, and this has happened to me, I've lost count now how many times this has happened, and not just me, other waterfowl outfitters as well. So you have a group of hunters in your truck, okay? So let's say hunters arrive Sunday. It's a 3-day hunt. They hunt Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They leave Thursday. So my scouting is all done. I've kind of, these fields, and just kind of keeping my eye on it, right? If I, because those of you who hunt waterfowl, a lot can change throughout the week, right? It's very fluid, and so I lock down a field for the Monday, and then after that, it's you have scouts going out, or you're scouting yourself, or both, and you're trying to find a field for that afternoon or the Tuesday morning hunt. So we hunt Monday morning. We're trying to find a field. We're driving around. I have scouts driving around. I'm driving around. I got 4 hunters in my truck. And we find a field loaded with birds. Okay, perfect. Like this is great. Nice stubble field. This is going to be excellent. So we kind of, through a little bit of investigation, we find out who owns the field. I pull onto the farmer's yard, knock on the door, introduce myself, and say, "Hey, sir, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking to do. I got hunters in camp." Now, keep in mind, paying hunters, paying clients who drove up from the States. That's who I have. So I tell them all this. I says, just wondering if you'd mind if we hunted your field this afternoon or tomorrow morning, whichever. And I always tell I always tell landowners, like, I'm not going to dig a pit. We're not going to rip our trucks through your field. At the end of the hunt, when we're gone, you won't even know we were there. I try to be as respectful as I can to the landowner. And I also tell them, I says, if I also don't want to mooch, right? If I could give you a bottle of whiskey, or if you want some goose meat or something, as a thank you for letting us hunt this field. So I go through all this. The farmer looks at me and goes, wow, he's humming and hawing. And he says, we have a bunch of guys that come up from Indiana that usually hunt birds on my fields. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just curious, when are they coming up? Then I can keep an eye. If I see trucks, then I know. He says, well, they usually come early to mid next month is when they come. Well, anyone who's hunted waterfowl knows that these birds will long be gone by then. So I have paying clients in the truck right now, and I can't hunt this field because he's got Americans that are coming up in a month from now. That happens everywhere, all the time. We get hunters complaining to us when they come up from the U.S. that what happens down there is either guys with money or a bunch of guys pool their money together and they buy these swaths of land and they turn it into a private club. So now not anybody can hunt there. You have to pay a membership. They turn it into this private waterfowling club. And it's becoming, as one of my hunters put it, it's becoming corporate. It's becoming bad. And it's happening everywhere. And so what they're doing is they're now taking that approach and they're coming up to Canada with it. Okay? Excuse me. So they come up from Indiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, wherever. They come up, they pool a bunch of money together, and they go to each farmer and say, look, we want to hunt waterfowl up here every year. What's it going to cost? They give a farmer, $200, $500, whatever. So they give each farmer this amount of money with the contingency that nobody hunts those fields but them. So now your local can't hunt it. Someone who maybe grew up there his whole life, went to school with that farmer's kid, he can't hunt it. Your outfitter who's trying to make a living, who's trying to provide for something, that's his job, he can't hunt it. Because some yahoo from Indiana or wherever is now coming up, dropping money for exclusive rights to those fields, and he may or may not ever even come. I've had that. I've had a field, I'm sitting on loaded birds, again, clients in the truck, can't hunt it because this group from, I think it was Wisconsin this time, we're going to come up and hunt. I had 2 weeks in a row. They're supposed to come up the next week. So I'll say, okay, well, birds still won't be here then, but it's better than a month from now, like the other guys. So I keep, try to find a new field, try to find, you just deal with it and try to move on. Week and a half goes by. I'm like, man, I haven't seen any trucks or any setup on the field, nothing. So I talked to the hunter. He's like, yeah, they're not coming this year, but he's like, we can't hunt it. The locals still can't hunt it because 5 years ago this hunter paid him whatever for exclusive rights. So it's terribly frustrating. I mean, it's technically, legally, the farmer's not allowed to do that anyway. But it's incredibly frustrating, not just as a local, but as an outfitter, when that's the case. If Americans wanted to come up and hunt, I have no issues with that. I have no issues whatsoever if a U.S. citizen wants to come up and hunt and doesn't go through an outfitter. That's not my issue. My issue is the tactics they use when they get here. That's my issue. some will say, well, just make it illegal for them to make a deal with the farmer. Okay, how would you even begin to enforce that? There's no way. So again, I like that the province is doing this. I don't know how many of my colleagues in the outfitting world agree with me. I imagine, I would assume that number is pretty high that do. I don't know. I haven't spoken to a lot of them, just a few of them. The ones I have spoken to are in agreement. I know Manitoba has spoken to Saskatchewan and Alberta about what we're doing, and the word is that both those provinces, Saskatchewan and Alberta, they like that idea. They it's kind of got their, from what I've been told, I've spoken, I won't say his name, but I've spoken to the director for Manitoba Wildlife, and this is what he told me, is that they it's given them something to think about. They haven't indicated at all whether or not they plan on doing it as well. Just the fact that, interesting. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. The CEO of Ducks Unlimited, Adam Putnam, came out against this whole thing, which to me was discouraging, because I thought he would know better. His argument is that it's just that it'll de-incentivize U.S. hunters. I look at that and go, maybe not. I think there will be some that go, wow, well, if that's the case, then I'm never hunting there again. Saskatchewan it is, boys. Fine. Go. Right? I think you'll get some that they just hunted here for so long that they'll go, let's just go with an outfitter. Right? Think about it. It's not a $20,000 hunt. You're not hunting Dall sheep. Right? You couple $100 a day to book an outfitter, and it's less work for you. Now, some guys like the work, they enjoy the process, the setup, and that's fine. You can still do that. Just put in for a draw. What the chances of you getting drawn sounds like pretty good. So what's the big deal? So another thing I forgot to mention, because Manitoba enacted so let's say, again, you do get drawn as a U.S. citizen, you can only stay for 7 days. So the reason they enacted that 7 days is because, and I've seen it before, where these Americans will come up and they'll stay for a month and a half, and they'll just blow out an area. They won't let anyone else hunt. Like, they won't even, like, I know of locals that have said, like, man, that field there, like, that's one of my best friend's dad's field. Like, I can't even hunt it because some guy from Kentucky has gave him $200. So I can't even hunt a field that I've lived across my whole life. So I've heard of locals going up to these U.S. hunters and saying, look, like, you've locked down everything. Like, we can't even hunt here. Like, okay, it's one thing if you lock down a couple fields, but they've locked down everything. How would you feel if we just let us join you, right? We'll help set up, we'll help clean, take down, we'll stuff blinds with you, we'll clean birds with you. Like, just let us join, right? So, nope. So, you hear enough stories like that, and then you deal with that enough times as an outfitter. Adam Putnam, the CEO of Ducks Unlimited, his argument of de-incentivizing, cry me a river, buddy. Cry me a river. Because even if, let's say he's right, even if he's right, the benefits far outweigh that issue. And so, again, I am very much in support of these new provisions. Again, I've been calling for them for years, just because of the issues I laid out. Right? It's tough, you know. I'm not against. I mean, obviously, I'm not against U.S. citizens coming up to Canada to hunt. I am against them using American hunting tactics up here. You want to lock down land in your home state? You want to form a hunting club in your home state? That's a problem that gets dealt with there. But when you come up to my country and my province, and you not only prevent me from making a living, but you're preventing the locals from enjoying the outdoors as well, now we have issues. That's where I draw the line. And it's nice to see the province and Manitoba Wildlife Federation and the Manitoba Lodges and Outfitters Association. It's nice to see them step up and go, okay, enough. So, I hope I explained it again properly. I wanted to make sure that I got it accurate. Again, it takes effect April 1st of this year, 2023. So I'm curious to see if I have overlooked anything in how this will play out. I don't think I have, but I'm very encouraged as someone who offers waterfowl hunts that I will no longer have this hurdle to deal with. You know, guys locking down land, a lot of them who don't even show up. So that's figured I would just address that, and that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. Till next time, stay in the big woods.